Hey, it's Torigoth with the Torigoth Typhlosions draft roster for the Lost Ones Draft League Season 3. So the very first thing I drafted this time, and I mentioned this at the end of the Season 2 results video, my first draft this time went to Mimikyu, which was Tier 2. This time, for Season 3, we're using a budget tier system instead of just going by Smuggled tiers, since using a budget tier system is a lot more fair and balanced for everyone and provides a lot more creative teams. So for Tier 2, my first pick went for Mimikyu because, as I've mentioned a few times, in Season 2 I did really badly against things that I could have solved with Mimikyu. So that was my top priority for getting this time, even if it was Tier 2 instead of Tier 1. So then my second pick, well, first off, I'll just say that I'm very hopeful this season now that I have Mimikyu, since I don't have to worry about a lot of potential threats anymore that I would have had to worry about last season. So it just gives me really good way to deal with so many things. Also, Mimikyu was drafted as one of my Z users. So then the second thing I picked in round 2 of drafting was, of course, Mega Charizard Y. In past seasons, this was the first thing I drafted, but with the way Megas were being drafted this season instead, and because I really wanted to Mimikyu first, I went for this second. Plus, there was other Megas that I could have gotten and still worked with, but thankfully most people didn't choose their Megas in the first couple rounds. They waited until like round 3, 4, and 5 is where most of the Megas went, I think. Pretty sure I was the second person to draft a Mega out of the 12 of us. Then, well, so same as previous seasons, just general powerhouse provides really great coverage against so many things. I mean, not exactly coverage, but just fire and grass together just covers so much. With the sun up, I don't have to worry about water against most of my team. So then my third pick, I believe it was my third pick, was Tier 1 Superior, Monado Purge. I don't think I've actually had any regular battles where I've used this yet. I drafted it this time because I've just really loved using it when testing it out on Showdown for a team that I have finished in-game now, but I haven't gotten any good battles using it yet, so no one's actually seen me use it. But I'll probably have a battle with that up before I end up using it in the Draft League, since my first match in the Draft League won't have me using this thing yet. So I drafted this because it works really well with Sticky Web along with Mimikyu, and provides a very good answer to water and ground should Mega Charizard Y go down. Because Solar Beam, I pretty much relied on Charizard in past seasons for all my grass coverage. So this is a very good solution to that, not having to rely on him for everything. Because once he goes down, that usually causes a problem. And fourth pick, I believe it was fourth pick, went to Zapdos. Want to get Zapdos again because it just performed so well in the previous seasons, and it's a really good core along with Charizard. Between Charizard, Zapdos, and Mimikyu, that's just a really useful core for me with the way I built my draft team. So not really a lot to say about him. He's just performed really well in the past. Love the ability to have a safe defog. There's not much that can take him out, even after he comes in on Stealth Rocks. So I'm almost always able to get a defog off unless it's against some sweeper that would have taken out my whole team anyway. Now, from here on... Okay, actually, yeah, this wasn't my fourth pick. I believe it was my fifth pick. I'm pretty sure Superior was still the third pick, but my fourth pick was actually Silvally. So this time, instead of drafting Silvally by typing, since previously in other seasons we were going by tiers, and Silvally had different types and different tiers, so we had to draft them separately. This time Silvally was just drafted as one Pokemon, so I want to get that really fast. A tier 3 pick, tier 2 pick, so it was 120 points, with Mimikyu and Superior being the regular tier picks. Zapdos was 180 points and Silvally was 120 points. They were the free picks where I could just choose from any tier. So Silvally is a Z user. Just really wanted to make sure I got Silvally because by being able to use all types this time, that just gives me so many options. I can run it pretty much with anything I want this time. The set that you see here is what I'll be running for my match in the first round. I'll go over that in more detail when I have the prep video for that up. So yeah, with Z moves, being able to use any type, I can use this for pretty much anything to fit on every single team. Honestly, I don't think there's going to be a single match where I'm not using Silvally this time, since I can just change its type to fit whatever my team is lacking in any particular match. And the coverage it gets, I can run the majority of types as a Z move. And of course, it can also work as a defogger instead of going offensive. There's just so many things I can do with Silvally thanks to being able to use every single type. Alright, now my tier 3 picks. I've forgotten what order everything else was in at this point. I'm pretty sure the next thing I picked actually was Ribombee. So yeah, Ribombee, really good matchup with Charizard, Serperior, and Mimikyu. Sticky Web is just really helpful. The thing is that a later pick I got actually kind of makes it pointless to have this thing. So I have two Sticky Web users. On the other hand, though, that makes it so that other people can't use Sticky Web against me because there's less options for them. So it's still good in general to have both. And it's not like I would have had a better tier 4 pick anyway. At least not many, since a bunch of other stuff got sniped. So yeah, with this thing, Sticky Web is really the main reason it's used. But if I can get off a Quiver Dance and hit stuff with Moonblast, that's also really helpful. Then my two tier 3 picks, one of them was Araquanid. So this was actually one of my last picks. I went for it because originally my plan was to have Bronzong and Pyukumuku, but Bronzong got sniped, so I needed to have something else, and there wasn't worth running Pyukumuku when I couldn't have Bronzong because of the matchups against certain other drafts. So I went for Araquanid because it fit what Bronzong could have done and what Pyukumuku could have done much better. So this is what I'll be running for it for my first match. And I have someone breeding a shiny version for me to use later because the name I wanted for it, Monado Eater, is going to fit much better for the shiny version. So for first time I use it, I'll be using this one. And okay, I wonder why the person used that OT for it. Just noticed that. But so I have someone breeding a shiny version that I'll be using in later matches so the name fits better. So this thing is a bulkier sticky web option, and the main reason that I wanted it is because It deals really well with Zygarde 50%, which someone drafted, and deals really well with a rain team that someone has. Someone has a full rain team for their draft, and Araquanid is going to be really, really good against it. Especially against Mega Swampert. So then other tier 3 pick was Fortress. So this one, also because it just performed well. I mean, it didn't perform greatly. I didn't get to use it that much. But it's just for the reliability of having something that can Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin. When I'm running Sticky Web, I really want to be able to Rapid Spin instead of Defog so that I don't get rid of my own webs. And just gives me another Stealth Rock option in case I can't use my other Stealth Rocker well. With my other Stealth Rock user being Mesprit, I don't have a Mesprit prepared yet, but I'm pretty sure I have one somewhere in here just to look at. Yeah, so I might be able to use this Mesprit, but I probably... I'm probably going to need a different Mesprit with different nature. Okay, I just realized that maybe it's just from my end of the camera, but for some reason there's an accent mark over the OT. But it's not there on the actual screen. So that's odd. I don't know what's causing that. So actually, the person who got me the Araquanid just gave it my own name for some reason. I don't know why. They wouldn't have known my OT, so it was just the name, I guess. But anyway, so for Mesprit, I got that because it was... Basically, I just needed something from the lower tiers for my points. I think this was tier 4, so 60 points. Just for Psychic coverage and Stealth Rock, really. Needed something for Psychic coverage. Levitate could be useful. Then I've got 3 more things to go over. I'll go over one of them right now because I don't have anything to show for it on screen. I don't have one to show. Actually, 2 of them I don't have anything to show because I don't have them prepared yet. For my tier 5 pick, I went for Tauros. This was my very last pick. Originally, I was going to go for Rhydon, but that got taken right before I was up. So I went for Tauros because I realized toward the end that I had nothing good for ground coverage. So I got Tauros just because it can hit off fast, hard earthquakes. It's really the only thing that I got it for, just for Earthquake, because I had nothing else that could use Earthquake well. And then a tier 4 point pick was Jellicent. I got this to go with my original plan of Pyukumuku, Jellicent, and Bronzong for a defensive core. Well, for defensive options, rather. So I kind of don't need it now so much because I have Araquanid, but I'm pretty sure it'll still be useful since I don't have anything else for ice coverage besides Silvally, and Water Ghost is a decent defensive typing. So mostly just going to be there for special water coverage and ice coverage, since I have other stuff to really cover everything else it could have done. So I might be able to trade Jellicent for something else later, I'm not really sure yet. So yeah, I'll consider trading Jellicent at a later point. Then the last thing to go over that I drafted it in, well, it was one of my mid picks. I don't remember the exact position. But of course, Typhlosion. I need my mascot Typhlosion. My team is the Torigoth Typhlosions after all, and he goes really well with Charizard. So 2 different Typhlosions that I run. This is the one I'll probably be using more often, since Flash Fire is generally more useful. Though, against teams that wouldn't have any fire coverage, it's better to run Blaze. So that's... Oh, also Arachnid was my 3rd Z user. So that is all 12 things that I drafted for the Lost Ones Draft League Season 3. First match will be against the Holly Pichus. I'll have the prep video up probably the 22nd, I think, and then the battle itself will be up on the 23rd. It would have been a week earlier than that, but I won't be having the battle itself until Monday, July 1st, I think. And I'm recording this on Saturday, June 29th. So yeah, if I was able to have the battle today, then I could have had the video of the prep up on the 15th and the battle itself on the 16th, but instead it's going to be the 22nd and 23rd, since I won't be having the battle until 2 days from now of when I'm recording this. So I'll go over everything that I'm bringing for the match on the prep video on the 22nd. If you haven't seen previous seasons of the Draft League, I do a prep video the day before each match going over what I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it, and what the opponent could be bringing. Then the following day I have the match itself live recorded. So, see you next time, and if you want to join future seasons of the Draft League, then check out my competitive Pokemon Discord server in the description. We're probably going to be using Ultra Sun Moon pretty much forever, because Sword and Shield won't have half the Pokédex. So, see you next time.